Hey, what's going on, guys? Double One Eat Seth Shadow here. So, with the continued stability and more so downtrend of most of the Shadowverse market, we're going to take a step back and go with a different approach for today's market watch. Because we've also got set 2 coming up at the end of next month, September, and it will also be the start of a new promo pack that's coming out, which I made a post about how we are getting a new artwork of Arya Guiding Fairy, which I am really stoked for. But for today's Market Watch, we're going to focus on cards you'll want to consider and pick up for when set 2 eventually releases. Now, I won't be talking in a comprehensive list, but it will just be some typical highlights. You may think that a lot of these are going to be pretty obvious. I think so as well, I think so as well, but it's just good to call out irregardless. And there are some which may seem a bit more controversial, but this is basically what I'm thinking. So the first one that I'm going to cover today is Dark Dragoon Forte. With Dragon going into set 2, Dragon is still intended to be a really strong competitor going into the meta for set 2, as the deck remains relatively the same outside of some tech changes to integrate new neutral options that are coming for set 2 like Bahamut and Olivia. But Forte is still one of the best cards you can consider for any Dragoncraft deck, even as more variants come around like Discard Dragon, and eventually we will also get more low power based Dragon decks. But in any case, when we look at Forte's prices, the Evo version, the base one, is only about $2 now and has over 54 listings available. And the base version of the Legendary is also lower than $20 at this point, while the Super Legendary has fallen closer to $40, despite being what was closer to a $50 card before. And even if you want the Evo version of the Super Legendary, then that one is also pretty cheap right now at $6, and I don't see any of that really changing. And then when it comes to the Ultimate Rare version, that's still close to $130 right now. So just to keep that in mind. The next one, which I still consider to be the best card you can pull in set 1, is Merlin. Merlin is hitting around $20 right now, $21 for its base of the Legendary, while the Evo version is still on a downtrend and getting closer to $5 at this point. The Super Legendaries, they are $45 for the base and $24 for the Evo baseline, and both at this point below their respective market prices. Now, the thing is, while Rune is not likely to take as much in terms of set 2, Merlin is still something that you will want to have going forward for future sets that will eventually make use of Rune, as Merlin is effectively a staple in almost any variant right now of Rune. And you can even play it in Dirt Rune should you have room for picking up a few spells as needed. I talked about this one once or twice before, but Aurelia Regal Saber is one you'll want to really pay attention to, especially now that its Super Legendary is starting to see a light buyout. It's $15 base for the Super Legendary, while the regular version is now just over $3. But with mid-range Saber, or mid-range Swordcraft, becoming a more prominent deck for set 2 meta, this card is going to see a lot more buys, as we've already seen with the Super Legendary preemptively just taking in. But of course, when it comes to set 1 cards, you'd also have to consider that there will be additional prints of set 1 once set 2 hits. Even so, if we manage to get more Shadowverse Evolved players, a lot of these cards will be the first to go. And of course, we do want to pay attention to certain cards that come out of their respective starter decks, as I'm not sure if the starter decks are going to be getting any more printings, but I want to talk about Lesser Mummy, which is from the Abysscraft one, Waltz of the Undying Night. This is a really good card for aggro Abysscraft, as it gets Storm, and its Evo version also has the ability to summon Ghosts on strike. But this card is still incredibly cheap to pick up as a single, and granted, right now when we take a look at the deck as a whole, you still have Alucard and also Queen Vampire if you do want to pick up Queen Vampires for control-based variants, and then Playful Necromancer. So, if you're looking to build aggro, you might want to pick up Alucards and Necromancers in addition to your Lesser Mummies. And altogether, that almost gets to the price of the deck anyway, so it might still be better to pick up the deck if you're looking for aggro anyhow. But if for some reason you don't intend to play Alucard and really go with the low end with just Playful Necromancer and Lesser Mummy, you might be able to pass off just picking those two up instead of having to pick up the deck. Then another one that you should consider having a playset of is Path to Purgatory. While it's not a shoo-in for every deck that you're going to have for the set 2 meta, it's certainly a really good option for draw power and consistency. And on top of that, if you find yourself in a bind, it can also be a board clear. But the card is starting to run out of dollar valuations, because we only have 2 more listings at about $1.10 before the listings solidify themselves at $2. And then when you consider shipping, a lot of these only have 1 copy left, which makes it so that you'll be paying $2 even with shipping in this case to pick up Path to Purgatory. So do keep in mind, this card has seen a skyrocket to 5 in the past. It very well could again, given that it really depends on just how much of a reprint we get of set 1 when set 2 hits. The next thing to consider will be promo cards. So I want to go over a few particular ones like Floral Fencer, which has a promo variant of its regular and its Evo version, given that they only come out of the Swordcraft starter deck. And right now you have 51 listings for the base at $125 to start, then $4 for the Evo and 23 listings. But you have to consider once October hits, we have no more circulation of the original promo pack. So as time passes, it's likely that the continuous use of promos like this will eventually see price increases over time. Then you've also got other ones like Priest of the Cudgel, which is still a really good option for Havencraft, and right now is a promo card as well within the first promo pack. So again, after October hits and the circulation of the first promo pack goes away, then we could potentially see this card rise a bit as long as it continues to see play as we go along. One that will probably see play as we continue to go along is Fate's Hand, which the other thing about set 1 promos is that for now on, we won't be getting these as box toppers in additional printings of set 1. So it is important to keep in mind that if you do want to pick up promos that came as box toppers, they'll probably start running out of quantities at some point once more decks start getting constructed as you go along. And then the final item to cover for today is not necessarily a suggestion for pickup, but it is seeing a buyout right now. It's Lilith's Evolved form, the promo version. Well, this card is still good for Abyss aggro in general, but it is down to 7 listings and has been getting bought for closer to $4. But when you take a look at what's available right now, it's only $6 base all the way to $15 as you continue to look at listings. Will it sell that high? I wouldn't think so, especially considering that almost all the sells have been closer to $6. And we still have 1 more month to go for this promo, but we'll just have to see how well it gets played as Abyss aggro continues to play along. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.